Welcome to the Northeast Junior B Breakdown, the home of everything Northeast Alberta Junior Hockey League, from Cold Lake to Wainwright and every barn in between.
Join us as we break down all the action, give you behind-the-scenes insight, and keep you up to speed on every team battling for the title. This is your weekly deep dive into NEAJBHL.
And welcome back to the Junior B Breakdown. I'm Dwayne Lotzheimer.
Dwayne, what's going on? You're looking like you got some sweat beating down your side of your forehead there.
Well, believe it or not, Chet, I'm still recovering from my last match at the Taber Pickleball Association. Word on the street is they're going to retire my paddle number.
You just started, Dwayne? And so retiring your paddle, you're still trying to figure out what game you're playing. But, hey, you could always get a 2-minute minor for excessive dink shots.
What can I say, Chet? I bring the intensity even on the pickleball court. Speaking about intensity, we've got a jam-packed episode 2 for our listeners today.
That's right. I also have some things to disclose. I want people to know that I'm a proud Quebecer, and I have to ask everybody that we interview from now on in the league.
Chet, you're not going to talk about cheese curds again.
Well, we got to know what rink has the best food. And so I don't, I really don't, I do care about the stats, and I do care about the standings, but I really want to know where the top poutine is hiding in the league. Maybe our audience can help us out with that later in the season.
Of course. You'd be the one to scout out the snack bar. Meanwhile, I'm searching for the rink that serves the best dill pickle chips and Gatorade slushies.
Let's get back on track here, Dwayne, and food debates aside. Today's episode has a couple special things. We've got brand new interviews, first with El Presidente of the league, Keith Wilkinson, and we also sat down recently with captain of Cold Lake Ice, number 3, Carter Breen.
Whoa. Number 3, Carter Breen?
15, right?
15, yeah. 3 last year, but 15 this year. And that's not all. We'll take you around the league, break down the top matchups from last week, and who's on our radar. So grab your popcorn, and if you have a pickleball paddle,
let's drop the puck on episode 2 of the Junior B Breakdown. This is Chet and Dwayne here. Excited for the start of episode 2. We're joined by the president of the league, Keith Wilkinson. Keith, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so thanks again, Keith, for taking the time out of your busy schedule. Of course, every hockey story starts somewhere. How'd you get into being the president of the Northeast Alberta Junior B Hockey League?
Well, I've been involved with hockey for quite a few years. I was a referee for over 30 years, and I was involved with Vermilion Minor Hockey and Vermilion Junior B Taggers when my son was playing there also. So a leadership role is something I did lots of. And when I had a couple teams call me and say, "Are you interested in being the president?" And I said, "No, I'm going to learn to say no for a few times." But then they talked me into being a vice president. And so I was vice president for a couple of years, and now I've been president for the league since 2019. So it's been a long time, but it's been fun, and I enjoy it.
We've talked about in our first episode there, we talked about the weekend in Vermilion. Is that showcase, is that something new to the league, or is that something that's been going on for a couple of years where you brought all the teams together and had kind of a exhibition weekend?
This is actually new this year on this side of it, the showcase, and we had all the teams come. Other teams have had an invitational tournament before. I know St. Paul's hosted one, and I know Vermilion's hosted before, and teams would come and play exhibition games, but this was really good. I did take in a few games at the showcase, and it was excellent. It gives the teams a chance to look at their players, the coaches to see what they got. And I mean, some kids are great in practice, but they're not as good in a game. And some kids, in a game they shine a lot more. So it's good for the teams. And I mean, the biggest thing is get the kids there, show them what it's like to play Junior B, and see where it goes from there.
Yeah. Saying that, so is this something that we think we're going to carry on probably in the next season, kind of make it kind of an annual thing, kind of a little preseason kind of tournament, so that the teams can, get out there and get their young kids and see what, the league's about?
from all intentions, yes, it will stay. Whether it'll stay in Vermilion's sort of central, but whether it'll stay in Vermilion or they'll rotate it around, that hasn't been discussed. But all the teams are very happy to be able to come play a couple games and get to see what they had. And I mean, technically there was zero trouble, nobody got carried away. So it was great.
Awesome. In your tenure as president, you've seen, you've obviously had season goals and then maybe some long-term goals. And so going into the season that we're into week 3 coming up here, what are some of the top priorities that you have and any goals you set for, what you'd like to see in the league?
My biggest goal would be to make sure that all the teams are competitive. And right now it looks like they all are. I know Vegreville's had a couple bad games. I wouldn't say bad games. They're struggling a little, but they're also very, very young. So that it's like everything else. It takes time to grow. I don't think they have a whole pile of veterans back. So, but they'll be fine by the time the season gets really rolling.
Yeah, and it was good because we actually got to talk to Mark Turnerhouse there when he was actually in Cold Lake for their second regular season game against the Ice. And that's what he was saying. He's like, he's got only 6 returning veterans, but everything else is pretty young, but he's hoping that they can be in the right direction. But no, for sure, seeing the parity from at least the first 2 weekends, you look at the standings and they're everyone's, chomping at the bit to get going.
Yeah, and the thing that makes me happy the most is if you don't show up to play and you can get beat, and that means there's parity. So, I mean, we should not have any blowout hockey games this year. And I've been to, I think, three hockey games so far, and a couple of went into overtime, one went into shootout. So that's definitely telling you that the teams are close.
Any standouts or surprises that you see early on with with some of the teams?
No, I wouldn't say so. I think all the teams are strong. I know Killam's a lot stronger this year by the looks of it. Vermilion's been a strong team. Lloyd's hosting provincials, and I mean Lloyd had a very strong team last year. And of course Wainwright, which is a 8-time champion of the league, is always strong. And and Cold Lake, Scott's turned that around, and they've got a good team this year. So I think it's a really good situation. St. Paul will be strong. So they're all good. And like I say, Vegreville will be there at the end. Don't count them out.
Yeah, no, you can see that there was no give up. Like I said, we were able to catch that game in Cold Lake here, and the team, for the 60 minutes, they didn't give up, even though, it was a 1-0 game going into the second. I think it was 5-0 after the first, but that team did not give up. So no, you're right on par there.
Yeah, I guess the other thing that we would like, we really would love to have another team come back into the league. We would like to have an 8-team league. We've reached out in last few years asking teams communities if they're interested in expansion. And we just, there just hasn't been too much interest in it. So right now we'll run with the 7, and hopefully sometime down the road we'll be able to pick up another 8.
Can you talk about the process that that is needed or takes place to have a team added in the league?
Yeah, the teams have to. The community that wants to come in would have to apply before our annual general meeting, which is in usually June. And then they would present, we'd get a letter from them, and then they would come and present their case going forward for that next year. Then all the teams would vote, and majority vote would decide if they're getting in or not.
Good.
There is also an expansion fee and stuff like that, but I mean, we don't need to get into that right now.
Yeah, team bonds are pretty common in junior athletics, no matter what the sport. So when you get together with all the other teams from year to year at your AGMs, and you have a process for putting forth rule changes and any structural changes or policies. How do you how do you make those decisions? And then, is there anything new for this year that the fans should be aware of?
Well, technically, rules we don't make that. Hockey Alberta makes their Hockey Canada makes the rules, and that the only things that we do is our playoff format and overtime situation, stuff like that. So overtime this year is the same as last year. It's a 5-minute overtime, 3-on-3. And if it's still tied, then we go to a 5-man shootout. And if it's tied, then we'll carry on, and nobody can shoot twice until everybody's gone through. As far as the playoff format, this year, because we have 7 teams, the 7th place team will not make the playoffs. But however, if 7 and 6 are tied, there will be a 1-game playoff.
So kind of like a wild card game.
That's right. But that's only if they're tied in points going in.
Okay.
Was there any discussion about having them play that game regardless, just because of, the length of the season, the number of games they have, or was it just that that's only if there's a tie? Yeah,
the league used to do that, where they had like a Survivor Series where the 2 bottom teams would play and out, and the teams are all voted that, you know what, we don't need that just to carry on and make extra time and then holding up everybody else from starting. So they just said, we'll do it this way. So the first round will be a best of 5 between 3 and 6 and 4 and 5, and 1 and 2 will get a bye.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a classic format. Sounds great.
And then the next round will be, 1 will play whoever the lowest seed is, and 2 will play the next seed.
Yeah, so it rewards your season standings, and hard work in 1 and 2, which is, what we like to see across the league.
Yeah, and normally we're all a best of 7, but this year, just because we're doing the best, when 2 teams are sitting out, you don't want them sitting out too long, so it'll be a best of 5.
Okay. So since you've taken over or been the president of the league, has there been any large challenges that you guys have had to face in your first 5 or 6 years, other than, I guess, the pandemic and COVID?
Yeah, that's about the only thing. This league's been around a long time, and they've had lots of good leaders before and presidents. And you know what? I have a great executive, and I can bring up the executive here in a minute. But lots of good presidents, and I have to say, like, the teams pretty well run the league, and we're sort of just the make sure the guidance and letting them know that, hey, you can't be doing this and you can't be doing that. But for the guys in the league, the GMs and the coaches, they really want to promote the league and that. And so they're very good to work with. I have great relationship with them all. Like everything else, when they're mad, they can be mad, but we usually can discuss that the next day and get that over with.
Do you guys have a cooling off period, 24-hour cooling off period, or they call you right away after? Oh, good.
Yeah, well, and some know that if they text me that night, I'm not answering them anyways, because I always call them the next morning.
No, that's great. Any opportunities that you're excited for that are coming up, other than, like, I know we talked about, possibly continue on that preseason kind of weekend showcase, but anything else coming down the pipeline? Like you said, I think you said Lloyd was hosting provincials. Any of that stuff you guys are looking for this season?
Yeah, no, provincials is, I'm in Lloyd, and I'm pretty sure it's April 2nd to 5th. And we will be sending 2 teams because Lloyd will be the host. But you know what? It's great hockey. And kudos to the Bisons, because Wainwright, they've been there for quite a few years, and they always do a good showing. So that tells you that our league isn't that far away from all the other leagues. And Wainwright's won it the last couple years. So they lost in overtime last year in the gold medal game. So that just shows that our league is one of the stronger leagues, and it's good to see.
Now, obviously, you're in contact with the other presidents of other leagues. So is there anything else that you see in other leagues that you might like to come to the Northeast here?
Well, and a lot of the leagues have a lot more teams, so that would be something that we would like to see. But we're in a little bit of a rural area here where it's not such an easy drawing area for communities. But I mean, like Edmonton, I think they have 12 teams, and the Heritage League, which is Red Deer and down to Calgary and that, they have like 14, I believe. So they've got a big area and lots of travel. So it's, but as far as the other leagues, they do pretty much what we do too. We do have a president's meeting once a month with Hockey Alberta there also, as we have a junior B chairperson, and all the presidents talk about their league and what's going on. And so most of the time everything's about the same, and it's usually if we have a concern, they have the same concern. So it's been great doing it that way.
And kind of tailing onto that question is just with having that constant communication, has there been any interest in kind of doing like kind of a weekend crossover with like maybe a South one year and then maybe the Central another year? Has there been any talk with that, just so you can see some of those teams mid-season?
There was talk about that a few years ago. I know the Northwest, Peace River, and those guys up there they had lost a couple leagues teams, and they had come to us and asked, like, would we have a couple teams that'd be interested in going up there and playing a couple games and then them coming back. And it's just the costs. That's the biggest problem. Lots of teams are, they pay for busing and stuff like that and hotels, and they just don't have that kind of money just to I guess not throw away, but to put out for that. So that's never really happened. I know some of the teams have played exhibition games in Peace River and stuff like that. I know Cold Lake went up, Vermilion's went up before, and that. But everybody's watching their dollars a little closer now.
No,
Fair enough.
Rightfully so.
Just to maybe you said you mentioned your staff, your executive staff. Do you want to give us a mention of some of your staff and what their roles are? And, because you said they're the people that make you and the league look good through their hard work.
Yeah, you betcha. My vice president, and she's been my vice president for the last few years, is Lisa Davies. She's from St. Paul, and she handles all the suspensions and the Hockey Alberta regulations. And a treasurer, statistician, and the website lady is Sharon Earl, and she's been with this league forever. And so she's the one that we lean on when we have questions ourselves. If we don't know what happened quite a few years ago, she can let us know what happened. And then this year we brought a new lady on, Donna Reeds, and she's from Kitskoty or Eiley area, and she's going to look after social media and websites. So when we get your episodes, then we'll run them into our website so people can see them too.
It's awesome. Yeah, I know I talked with Lisa and sent her link to the first episode, and once we get this one finished after the weekend, we'll send the new one off. We really appreciate you folks highlighting that on your website as well. Maybe a couple rapid fire questions just for fun here. Just because my origins are from La Belle Provence and in Quebec. Just wondering which barn you think has the best poutine in the league here, Keith. These are important questions that we need to know.
Kill him.
Okay. Well, I guess maybe we'll have to, hopefully we can get down there and give it a try, because I think poutine reviews with Chet Cheddar would probably be a big highlight. So, okay, how about best coffee?
I think there's quite a few barns that have good poutine.
You're right. Now, we're really biased, but what about best rink burger?
Well, usually it's after supper, so I'm not eating there, but I'm going to say Vermilion or St. Paul.
Good. Well, we'll have to.
And I should say honorable mention to Cold Lake too, because I've had one there and it was actually good.
So with that, Keith, any closing statements that you'd like for the league to hear about, or anything? Just like good luck to everyone, or just in closing comments.
No, that's exactly what I'd just like to wish all the teams best of luck, and hopefully we can stay along and keep going the way it is, close games, and not having too much suspensions and stuff like that. And it makes it a lot easier and a lot better for the season. So, but other than that, no, I also want to thank you guys for doing this and trying to promote our league. It's very well appreciated.
No, we're grateful for the opportunity. When it was kind of presented to us, we had kind of done something in the lacrosse, chasing kind of the Lakeland Heat around there a couple of years ago. And then when Scott with Cold Lake came to us and said, "Hey, do you mind kicking up a podcast?" We looked at each other and went, why not? So, but no, I appreciate your time, Keith. Glad you're able to get away from your busy night and your schedule and give us some insights to the Northeast Alberta Junior B Hockey League.
No problem at all. And if you have any questions or something, feel free to call me.
All right. Thanks, Keith. Appreciate your time. We'll talk to you sometime. We'll bump into you sometime in the future.
Have a poutine or two.
All right. Take care.
Betcha. All right. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Good evening and welcome to our segment where we try to touch base with some of the local players from some of the teams in the Northeast Alberta Junior B Hockey League. We have Carter Breen with the Cold Lake Ice, number 15 in your program. I don't know what we want to say about 15 in your heart, or it's number 1, right? So, Carter, welcome.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
So, we're actually nice. We're in the Cold Lake Energy Center, just taking in the practice here just before you guys actually hit the ice for practice. So just Carter, if you don't mind, just introducing yourself and where you grew up and how long you've been playing hockey and kind of a little bit of your history.
Yeah, my name's Carter Breen. I'm number 15 on the ice. I've been playing hockey all my life now since I was able to skate. Born and raised in Fort Mac, Alberta.
Okay, and how long have you been with the Cold Lake Ice?
I've been here for 4 years now. This is my fourth.
4th year, so one more year.
This is it, yeah.
This is it?
Yeah.
Only 4 years in the junior, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, good start to the season so far. You guys are 3-0-1, right?
Yeah.
Had a long weekend trip here. Can you kind of describe what the feel was with the team? I know Friday night didn't go the way you guys wanted, but you guys rebounded Saturday and Sunday. So if you want to take us through your weekend.
Yeah, it was a great start to our year for sure. Nice to see all the guys out, away from just coming in and leaving, whatever. Yeah, it was good to see where we're at for the start of the year, for sure.
No. So, obviously, a tough battle Friday night. I think it was 7-0 loss.
Yeah.
To Vegreville Vermilion. Vermilion, yeah. So that game just kind of came out flat, or just bus legs, or what do you guys think after that one?
Yeah. Got caught off guard for sure. It's not that we weren't ready, though. We just didn't play at our greatest. Can't play our best every day. It's whatever.
No,
we bounced back for sure, but...
Okay, so after that, you guys headed down to Killam.
No, we went to Veg.
No,
Killam first.
Killam to play kind of a neutral game, or that was the Sunday night game?
That was the Sunday game.
So what was the kind of feel after the tough loss in Vermilion? You guys stayed in Vermilion that night and then went down the next day, or what did you guys do?
Yeah, we stayed the night and then went down the next day. Practiced that morning, went down the next day.
Okay. Coach kind of run you guys a little bit in that practice, or what?
No, just the flow to get the legs moving, get our mojo back before the next game.
Yeah, so the next one's against Killam. I think if I remember right, they started the scoring, but you guys kind of finished her off.
Yeah, we woke up when we needed to, and we got our goals when we needed to. Came out with the win.
Yeah, in that one, with that win there, kind of play through. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did you guys have your rookie goaltender in that game?
We did, yeah.
Who is that?
Nate.
Nate?
Yeah.
So, rookie goaltender, first start, I believe, is his first start. How do you hold you guys in there?
Great. He had a great first game. Played with confidence. It's all we could ask for rookie goalie for his first game.
No, for sure. And then obviously after that, I believe 6-2 win. You guys probably stayed over in Killam.
Yeah.
Nice hotels down in Killam.
They weren't bad. Yeah. Yeah. Stayed there before.
Yeah. So after that, you guys headed down to a neutral site game against Vegreville Rangers again. How'd that one go?
Good. Came out hot. Did a lot of scoring. The boys looked good. All we could ask for.
No.
But, came out with a W again.
Yeah, I think that one ended up in a 5-0 win.
Yeah.
Yeah, so looking at the score sheet, I believe some of your rookies actually contributed pretty good in that game.
Yeah.
I think 3 or 4 got their first goals, and it's nice to see kind of a contribution from the whole team, right?
Yeah, 100%. It was good to see everyone scoring. It wasn't just a one-man show. It's our whole team right now. It's good to see everyone hot.
Yeah. Now, going into this upcoming weekend, we got St. Paul coming into town Friday night. That's going to be a tough battle. It's always been a tough battle with St. Paul and Cold Lake, especially kind of after the series, how it ended last year, right, in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm sure both teams will be thirsty for a little bit of action.
No, yeah, for sure. It's always good to have a good battle against St. Paul. It's
And
always
then
fun.
another game on Saturday night. Wainwright's in town, another tough team. They've kind of got off to a little slow start, but they're probably going to come with their horns down and ready to go, eh?
Yeah, for sure. They're always a top team in the league. They're always ready to play too, so got to be ready.
Okay. So kind of now let's switch gears a little bit. So obviously being from Fort Mac, do you go home in the off season or do you stay down in Cold Lake or?
No, a couple of us just stay here in Cold Lake, go back for our vacations, take Christmas and stuff at home. That's about it.
Nice. Whereabouts can we find you staying these days?
With our assistant coach, Rob Cadu.
Oh, okay. How's that going?
Good. He's always good for taking us in and stuff, being a good billet dad. Great billet family.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things you do kind of in your downtime? Do you work? Do you just hang around, wait for hockey to go on or what?
Yeah, me and Pedal have just been hanging around recently, but yeah, nothing really going on.
No, for sure. Any hobbies outside of hockey?
No, lots of baseball. That's about it.
Yeah.
Other than that, work, yeah.
No, for sure. So other than that, like I said, big weekend coming up for you guys, 2 games at home here. It's going to be interesting to see how the weekend goes for you guys. Best of luck to coming this upcoming season.
Perfect. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Chet, back again. I think it's time to do week 2 of the Northeast Alberta Junior B breakdown and go around the league and see what happened over this past week.
Yeah, we're going to start off on Friday night in Vegreville. They were hosting, the Rangers were hosting the Canadian.
Yes.
Love the St. Paul Canadiens. Tell us about what happened in the game.
Yeah, so looking at the box score here, we weren't able to make this trip this week, but we're hoping we can get on the road here a couple times. But it looks like St. Paul went out to a 3-0 lead into the first period there with Connor Goofer actually starting the scoring at about 13:40 of the first period. And then Jaeger Fontaine and Quentin Spike. If I'm saying that wrong, Quentin, please let us know. I'd like to get your name right, at least by the end of the season.
Junior B Breakdown at gmail.com. Send us, Quinn, send us a little email because we're old and we'll absolutely get your last name correct.
Yeah, for sure. And then it carried on to the second period where, again, St. Paul put a 3-spot up on the board with Quinn pocketing his second of the game. And then going into the third period, it was all St. Paul for the rest of the game. Connor Goofer with his second goal of the night, and Quinn getting that proverbial hat trick on the evening.
Good job, Quinn.
Yeah, ending up in a unfortunate 8-0 win for St. Paul. Of course, like we talked about last week, Vegreville is just young team, just getting their skates sharpened in the league here. Only 6 returning players, but like we talked about last week as well, is they are not a team that they're giving up. They're playing their 60 minutes. They're trying to improve game in, game out, and you can see that they're ready to break through and get in the win column.
And just in addition to all of the players that were leading the scoring, like Connor and Gavin and especially Quinn, we got to talk about all those apples. If you look at the score line and the stat line, there are so many players that got in on these goals, and it was a true team win.
Yeah, you look at the stats there, and I think you could almost say 75% of the team contributed to that win, right? It's just sharing that puck and splitting up the on ice time, and so ultimately, when it's 8-0, you got to make sure that goalie that made those saves gets a shout out. So, Addison Crew will give you the shout out of the game for the game on Friday night.
Yeah, stopped 24 shots from the Vegreville Rangers on the way to the 8-0 victory. So great job, Addison, and good work to the St. Paul Canadiens. And I think one of their next games coming up in the future here will be in Cold Lake. So hopefully we'll get to talk to them.
All right, carrying on to the game 2 of the Friday night, saw Cold Lake travel down to Vermilion. Probably not the end result of the Cold Lake Ice were looking for in that game. Maybe they still had some bus legs. I know it's not that long of a ride, but it is a ride on a weekend of games, right? So Cold Lake rolls into Vermilion to a 7-0
Loss. Well, we
loss.
gotta call it what it is.
Yeah, it is. It is what it is, right? Game kind of started off with, of course, with Vermilion with Jackson. Would you say Touton?
Yeah,
opening the scoring
French name
early in the game at 16:24, and then Vermilion just kind of kept the gas going there. Potting 3 more goals, making it 4-0 after the first period. Coming back into it, the second period, just allowing 1 goal. So you can tell the Ice were feeling them out and making sure that it wasn't going to be that big of a runaway. But obviously in the third period, Vermilion was able to break through again and get 2 more goals for that 7-0 win. So
second period looked like it was a little bit rough. I think Cold Lake, just by looking at the number of penalties here, I know Cold Lake was clearly trying to respond a bit after that and came out with some physicality, and that's definitely reflected in the score sheet here in the PIMS.
yeah,
And then it kind of continued in the third period. So we got to defend our honor sometimes when things aren't looking great on the scoreboard. So yeah, at the end of the game, we're going to give a shout out to the Vermilion goalie,
Aiden Fox, another shutout, right? I think he had one there last week in the opening weekend, and carries on into this weekend on a Friday night win with 16 saves. So good job, Aiden.
Okay, moving on. Last game from Friday night.
Yeah, down in the Peace Memorial multiplex there. Lloyd rolls into town to face the hometown Bisons. Looking at the shots on goal, 41 for Lloyd, 35 or 34, sorry, for Wainwright. Wainwright opens the scoring with Lucas McLennan at early again in that period at 17:37. And then they pocket another one with Riker Singer, taking a 2-0 lead into the second period, where Lloyd gets on the board. Yeah, gets on the board with 1 goal. Wainwright does answer back, and then going into the third period, Lloyd actually comes back and ties it up, sending this game to overtime.
There's a name there that we recognize.
Yeah, the Jaden Plamanen, great lacrosse player. He's a multi-sport athlete. Looks like he's contributing on the power play there in the third period to get them back in it. With this game going into overtime, it actually goes right past overtime, right into a shootout where Lloyd would prevail in the shootout with 2-1 in the shootout. So, like I said last week, this is the matchup that I was looking forward to talking about, and let's see what's happened in game 2 on Saturday.
Well, Saturday 7:30, Synovus Energy Hub.
Yeah, Lloyd's new barn. They got to break her in. Be interesting when we can make it down there, Chet, to go and
Putin.
check out the Putin. But with Wainwright coming down the highway 16 there, rolling into Lloyd again, another high shots on goal. Wainwright with 30 and Lloyd with 32.
Yeah, well, kicking off the first period, Braden Aker gets the Bisons going, and responded later on with Bronson Parker to tie it up.
Yeah, 1-1 going into the second period. So another, tight, even game with only one goal being allowed in that second period. Rolling into the third period where it takes a little bit of work, but with 5 minutes left, Tanner Warwenka from Wainwright ties it up, putting the game 2 into overtime as well. But this one didn't go to a shootout as Joel Webb at about 2 minutes and 7 seconds of the overtime pots the winner for your Lloydminster Bandits.
Yeah, that was a great game. Great way to wrap up the home and home for the two teams, and I'm sure just a great kickoff to a healthy rivalry for the rest of the season. And last game on Saturday night, Dwayne, Cold Lake Ice heading down to Killam Memorial.
Yeah, game 2 of a game 3 kind of weekend for the Ice. They roll into the Killam barn there. First period, they come out just a little flat, I'd say, with Killam taking a 1-0 lead about 5 minutes in. But then 4 minutes after that, Killam going up by 2. And then second-year player, Jonah Whaley, for the Cold Lake Ice, getting one goal just before the end of the period there, making it a 2-1 game going into the second period, where it looks like Cold Lake found something in their game with Josh Butt and Carter Breen pocketing goals for a 3-2 lead going into the third period. And then Jonah Whaley starts the third period off with a goal, second of the evening. And it looks like Colby Pickowitz gets his first goal of the early season in Junior B here, and makes it a 5-2 game with Carter Breen kind of closing it out with 1 minute left in the period there, giving the Ice a 6-2 win down in Killam.
Yeah, great weekend for a great game for the Ice against a competitive Killam team. Great to see our hometown Ice. Great to see our hometown Ice getting the W. And
after a bounce back game, right?
Yeah, it was great to show some resiliency. And wrapping up week 2 weekend, Cold Lake Ice in Viking. Yeah, meeting Vegreville in Viking. I know that I had an invite from President Keith Wilkinson to head on down, but had some other commitments. I was checking out some new cheese curds for my favorite poutine recipe. But what happened down in Viking? Kind of an interesting location for that game.
Yeah, no, it's kind of neutral ground for both teams there. It was Cold Lake's third game in three evenings, so not sure what you're gonna get on the back end of a long weekend on a bus and in hotels and stuff like that. But looks like Cold Lake came out firing with Colby Pickowitz picking up his second goal of the season, and Andrew Gazella picking up his first. So
another lacrosse kid.
Yeah.
Way to go, Gressa.
So two rookies putting their name on the score sheets there. And then Brett Gascoigne getting the third goal of the first period, with Lewis Dubry getting the fourth goal. So with a 4-0 lead going into the second period, Jonah Whaley scores his third goal of the weekend, assisted by Dawson Cook and Noah Fedor. So Noah Fedor, another rookie. So it looks like the rookies are contributing to this, and that's a key when you can have everybody contributing to the end result. Again, Vermilion, a young team coming, getting their skates, wet, I'd say, for this early season. They're gonna be there in the end. Like we were talking to the president here earlier, and he said the same thing: is like, don't count them out. They're gonna be around when it comes time to make the playoffs.
I guess we can also give a shout out to Nate Dallin for his shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out for the shout out.
Yeah, another rookie for the Cold Lake Ice. First start of the season, and gets the W with 22 saves.
Well, that wraps up the scoreline from the weekend, the weekly recap.
Well, Chet, we made it.
Got it done. Episode 2.
Episode 2. Special thanks to Keith Wilkinson, president of the Northeast Alberta Junior B Hockey League, and Carter Breen, number 15 from your Cold Lake Ice, for their contributions to this week's episode. Looking forward to reaching out to some of those other teams around the league and seeing how they're doing. So,
yeah, we just wanted to, again, apologize for any players' names that we have mispronounced. But if anybody wants to give us a follow on Instagram, Junior B Breakdown, it's JRB Breakdown. Give us a follow, and we're going to have some previews there and maybe some other content there. And for sure, we got to ask people what their favorite barn poutine is. So, yeah, thanks for joining me, Dwayne.
No, and that'll wrap up our this week's episode. Looking forward to the couple games coming up this weekend. A couple in the barn here at Cold Lake, and a couple more around the league. So I'm Dwayne Lotzhammer.
And I'm Chet LeCheddar.
And now you have the breakdown.